Hey everyone, it's Ellie and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going over my women's top picks for springtime 2020. I have 9 fragrances, but I'm going to make this a list of 8, with one of them being an honorary mention. And the honorary mention is sort of a discontinued fragrance, so you can't really find it as easily as all the other ones. All the other ones you can still get, promise. But my honorary mention is one that's going to be a lot harder, but I feel like it's definitely worth mentioning, being that it's such a cool, beautiful fragrance. But with that being said, my first one, my number 8, is a fragrance from the house of Chanel, and this one's a really cool one for me. This is Chanel number 5 Eau Premiere, and I really love this one. And that's weird for me to say because I'm not really a fan of Chanel number 5, but this is a flanker to Chanel number 5. And it really does open up as the original Chanel number 5, which is a very aldehydic fragrance. Most people think it's very dated smelling, that it smells like an old lady. I personally was never a fan of Chanel number 5. Over the years, as my taste has changed, I've sort of learned to appreciate it for what it is. And this one is a really interesting one. It's a really cool take on the original Chanel number 5. So when you smell this one, it's got those classic Chanel number 5 notes. It's got the rose, it's got the jasmine, the neroli, the vanilla, the ylang ylang. It's got sandalwood. This one has lemon. And it just smells so good. Once it dries down, because the initial spray does smell like Chanel number 5. Not completely, but it does have a similarity in the opening. But once it dries down to this very beautiful like vanilla lemon cake, and it's so gorgeous. And I think it would be such a perfect pick for spring, especially where it's warm out, not too hot or anything. It's a beautiful sunny day. You have that wind sort of blowing in the air. This is gonna radiate off the body so beautifully, and it's gonna smell so good in the air. This gorgeous, clean lemon cake scent that's just so beautiful. I feel like angels, if they had a scent attached to them, this is what an angel would smell like. Effervescent, very elegant, very beautiful, very just stunning in general, very angelic. This gives me a very angelic vibe. And if that's the kind of vibe you want for spring, a very angelic, clean, beautiful lemony vanilla vibe, this is the one for you. Chanel number 5 Eau Premiere. Now the next one I have is a really interesting one also. It's more of an acquired taste, and this is from the house of Mugler. It's one of my personal favorites, if not my favorite, from the Mugler line. And this is Aura. Ooh. So this is a really interesting one. It's got rhubarb leaf as one of the notes. It's got tiger liana, which I'm pretty sure is a fantasy note that they created for this one in particular. Orange blossom, bourbon vanilla, which I really get in the base. And the wolfwood, which I'm not sure if wolfwood is another fantasy note they made for this one in particular. But I love this one. Like, if I could have a signature scent from Mugler, this would be it. It's got a very medicinal quality to it. For some reason, this reminds me of going into a doctor's office. That sort of vibe you get. It's very interesting. It's a very hard one to pinpoint down. It's very green smelling. It's heavy on the vanilla. And it has sort of a medicinal vibe. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. But this one, I feel like in the springtime is going to smell so good because of that bourbon vanilla base. I feel like a lot of perfumes with a bourbon vanilla in them in particular tend to work really well in the springtime. Because there's something about the way everything is in the spring where it's sort of like cool out and a little warm maybe, but it's not hot and it's not too cold, that these fragrances really take off. And this one in particular is very intense. 1 to 2 sprays, you're done. Because this will fill a room with the fragrance of Aura. And this is either you love it or you hate it. It's by no means an easy blind buy. I don't recommend anyone just go out and buy it without sampling it first. But it's a very good pick for spring, especially if you're into more interesting scents that aren't everyone's cup of tea, and you're gonna smell unique. You're definitely gonna smell unique if you smell like Aura by Mugler. Awesome choice. I love it personally. It's close and near and dear to my heart. The next one that I'm gonna talk about is a bit pricey. It's another designer scent that I got not that long ago. And I love the packaging to this one, but it gets like fingerprints on it really easy. And this is Metallique by Tom Ford. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a modern take or a modern interpretation of an aldehydic fragrance. So like I was saying before, Chanel No. 5 is the original really aldehydic fragrance. And to a lot of people, it can smell very dated, kind of vintagey. This is such a unique scent. You definitely get that metallic vibe from it, which is why they named it Metallique. It opens up and it's very like, it's very interesting. You get the aldehydes right off the bat. It's off the bat. And it's very sharp. It's a very sharp fragrance. But in the dry down, I feel like that's where this really changes and becomes something very wearable and very beautiful. It becomes a really beautiful vanilla scent. And it reminds me of a Kilian fragrance, the ones that are like Sephora exclusives. I think it's the one called Princess. The way that vanilla smells is what this sort of dries down to. And I love that one. I own it personally also. I have it on my vanity in my other room. And it's a really beautiful vanilla scent. It's soft, it's airy. And I feel like in the springtime, this is gonna work so beautifully. It's just a matter, I feel like, of getting over the initial opening, which is really sharp. It's a little weird. It's kind of metallic-y on some skin tones and some people's chemistry. You're not gonna get it the same on everyone. Definitely not an easy blind buy. Go ahead and sample this if you can. Go to Sephora or anywhere that carries it. But it's a really good one for spring. It's absolutely beautiful, effervescent. It's got, like I said, those aldehydes, bergamot. It's got pink pepper, lily of the valley, hawthorn, heliotrope, that vanilla, that sandalwood. And it's a really unique, beautiful, interesting scent. Highly suggest you guys check it out. Metallique by Tom Ford. The next one is one of my personal favorites. Ugh. Why do I always stumble over my words? Like every video, I think the day I don't stumble over my words is gonna be like, oh, and like the angels are gonna sing or something. But the next one is another favorite of mine from the House of Zoologists, and that's Nightingale. So this one's another niche one. It's a little bit kind of expensive. So is Tom Ford's Metallique. But this is beautiful. If you really love a beautiful floral powdery chypre scent, then this is a really good one. I feel like this could work for men and women. It leans a little bit more feminine, but at the same time, like I could totally see a man rocking this. Now the note list is extensive for this one, so I'm not gonna list them all off, but it's got bergamot, lemon, saffron. It's got Japanese plum blossom, rose, violet, oud, patchouli, white musk, ambergris, and like it just keeps going and going and going. It's a very complex fragrance. It's very intense. I think this is like extrait de parfum. It's so beautiful, and I feel like in the springtime this is just gonna smell so good. You get those florals and that powderiness right off the bat, or at least I do. I get that sort of violet rose feel, that blossom, that plum blossom. I don't get any of the oud. I feel like the oud is very well blended because I don't really get any of that. But when it dries down, it's very woody. So you have to be into your sort of more woody chypre scents. If that's not your vibe, I don't recommend you check this one out. But if you're really into like powdery, woody scents, then this is a really beautiful one. It's so gorgeous. This is gonna do so good in the springtime. It's gonna smell amazing in the air, especially if you're a fan of powdery scents. I highly suggest you guys check out Nightingale from Zoologist. Absolutely beautiful. The next one I'm going to talk about is from the House of Shiseido, and this is Shiseido Zen. This one is a really cool one. It's got notes of grapefruit, bergamot, orange, pineapple, rose, freesia, gardenia, apple, patchouli, cedarwood, amber musk. Like, there's a lot of notes on this one too. The bottle is kind of big and chunky. It's not like my favorite bottle in the world. The juice sits in there. It says Shiseido Zen on the front. This fragrance reminds me so much. Ooh, it's like out of focus. It reminds me so much of petrichor. And if you know what petrichor is, it's the smell of the outdoors after it rains. So the way everything smells outside after a good rainfall. This fragrance really does remind me of petrichor. Like, it's so interesting. It's like fresh, clean. It's a little aquatic smelling to me for some reason. Like, it smells like wet, clean soil. And I know that's a weird way of describing it, but it smells like it rained somehow, and it rained like detergent or something. And everything is wet, and that wet smell is just radiating off of the ground. And it's absolutely beautiful. It's so unique. It's so interesting. None of my fragrances smell anything like this. It's definitely a cool fragrance if that's something you're into, and I feel like it's very springtime appropriate. So again, Shiseido Zen for one of my picks. The next one I want to talk about is from the House of Mugler. Again, I have a few Mugler fragrances. This one is Alien Eau Extraordinaire. The bottle is absolutely beautiful. This one I think is the shimmer edition. They have the regular one and they have the shimmer one where the juice is really like shimmery and gold. I really love this one, and I cannot wait for spring to be able to wear this. It's got notes of neroli, bergamot tea, white flowers, cashmere, white amber. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It holds true to the Alien DNA, but it's really different. I feel out of all the flankers for Alien, this one stands in its own category because it's the most unique out of all of them. It doesn't smell too much like Alien, but there's something about it that is still really similar to Alien, if you know what I mean. It shares a similarity. It definitely smells like it's in the same family, but by no means does this one smell like Alien at all. It opens up very citrusy, very sparkling, and it dries down to a sort of like citrusy, woody perfume. It's really beautiful. I highly suggest you guys check it out. It's not overbearing. It's not like Alien where that is like gonna fill a room and just suffocate everyone if you use too much of it. I feel like you could go heavy with the sprays on this one and you'd be fine because it's such a pleasing fragrance. It's very, very citrusy. You get a slight wood. You get a little bit of that white flower that, you know, Alien is known for. And it's absolutely beautiful. Like, it's a gorgeous one for spring. I highly recommend it. You can find it, I think, like on Fragrance X for not that much actually, because it's a lot harder to come by, but you can still buy it online. So I highly suggest you guys check it out. It's pretty affordable, honestly, and it's a really good one for spring. So that one is Alien Eau Extraordinaire. Now, before I get to my number one, well, no, I'm at like my number two right now, right? Yeah. Oh, never mind. Backtrack. My number two. Sorry, I'm so annoying. My number two is one that is talked about a lot, and that's Olivias Bell by Lancôme. You guys, I have worn this in the winter, in the summer, in the fall, in the spring. Out of all the seasons, this works the best in spring, without a doubt. So gorgeous. Like, you guys, like, I'm not even kidding. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. So this one is a really cult classic. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people love it, and for good reason. It's a gorgeous scent. You know, it's overhyped a lot. Some people don't wear it just because so many people own it. But like, if it makes you happy, if, you know, you love it, go ahead and get it. Don't listen to what other people are saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, you do you. Wear what you want. Be happy. Be confident. If this makes you feel good, go ahead and wear it. Girl, I feel so good when I wear this. It's got iris, orange blossom, jasmine, blackcurrant, pear, almond, tonka, praline, patchouli, vanilla. Like, this scent is the bee's knees. It's got it going on, honey. and I absolutely love it. I have found out of all the seasons I've worn it in, springtime is when this really shines. In the spring, I can smell sort of like the pear, the candy vibe that it gives off, but it does it so well in the springtime, especially when it's like a little sunny out. It's nice and cool. It's not like too warm or anything. This is like out of this world. Trust and believe. Olivias Bell, my #2 pick. Check it out for springtime. So beautiful, so good. If you love a good gourmand, this is like the perfect gourmand for spring. Highly suggest you guys check that one out. So before I get to my #1 though, I want to talk about my honorable mention. This one is discontinued, like I said, but it's so good that like I can't not talk about it, because you could still get it like on eBay and stuff like that. But I will say this is by no means a easy blind buy. You really have to like green fragrances, you know what I'm saying? Like a green fragrance in general. Like it's very, very green. And that's from Nest Fragrances, and this is Passiflora. So you get those green notes off the top and all throughout the wear of this fragrance. Passion flower, which I personally love. Hyacinth, lily of the valley. That's pretty much it. It's very floral, like very, very floral. If you love florals, this is a great one. Some people might think that this might smell a little mature, and I can see that. It's very heavy on the florals, but you guys, this is stunning. It smells so natural. It smells so green. It smells like wet vines holding these beautiful passion flowers. It's so good. Like, I love wearing this in spring. I look forward to spring to be able to bust this out and just wear it. It's such a beautiful, green, unique, wet, juicy scent. I love it. It's just so good. I wish they still carried this. I don't know why they discontinued it. It's like gold to me. If you guys can get your hands on it and smell it, sample it, buy it, please do. Absolutely beautiful scent. I love the way it makes me feel. I love the way this performs in summer, especially in spring. Super good. Passiflora by Nest Fragrances. So my #1, we finally made it, you guys, me and my annoying face. But my #1 is got a little bit of a following, and I can see why. It's a really, really good one. I've been wearing this one a lot recently just because I love the way it smells. And that's Tuile de Hermes by Hermes. I love the cap, by the way. It's a little hat with a scarf. Like, if that's not the cutest thing ever, like, I don't know what is. But I love how simple and kind of quirky it is. But we're here for the juice. When I smell this, I get that ginger right off the bat. It's very ginger heavy, and if you love ginger in a perfume, this is it. It smells very clean. It's got bergamot, tangerine, white floral, sandalwood, vanilla. Such a yummy, yummy scent. It's very, like I said, it's very clean smelling to me. It smells almost like clean laundry, but I also get sort of like a ginger ale sort of feel from it. So unique, so beautiful. I really, really do enjoy this one. It smells very beautiful in the air, and I feel like this is going to be a really good performer in spring and even in summer, honestly. It's just that good. I really do enjoy it. I'm going to get a lot of wear from this one in the springtime, and it's such a classic scent. It's very hard to explain other than it's a sparkling ginger clean smell. But yeah, that's all my scents I have for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to be doing another 2 videos next week on the weekend, so stay tuned for those. Sorry, I'm always like butchering all my words. It's really hard when like I can't edit my videos and like cut all my like annoying bits out, but I'm trying. So yeah, but till next time everyone, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.